Imagine an entity that doesn't merely glance at you, but completely saturates your entire field of vision with an oppressive, unblinking cosmic stare. Thousand Eyes Restrict stands as one of the most grotesque and conceptually brilliant aberrations in the entire tapestry of dual monsters. An eldritch anomaly that completely redefines what a monster can be within the ancient fabric of the game's universe, bypassing physical conflict entirely in favor of sensory absolute dominance. Talk about intense eye contact. The entity completely abandons traditional biological symmetry. Its upper torso balloons into a massive, bulbous carapace of mottled violet and sickly, bruised tones, completely encrusted with clusters of multicolored, pupilless globes. It closely resembles a terrestrial gastropod fused with a predatory deep-sea siphonophore. Right in the epicenter of its mass sits a bizarre, gilded optical horn, seemingly a ritualistic prosthetic or an amplified sensory rod, flanked by a singular, piercing emerald iris that looks entirely out of place amidst the chaos. Below this, where a standard thorax should reside, a yawning, circular void opens up, lined with sharp, inward-curving calcified denticles. This isn't an apparatus meant for chewing physical meat, it functions as a spiritual event horizon, a gravitational sinkhole for the souls of its victims. Its limbs are heavily segmented, armored columns terminating in wicked, hooked talons, while the lower body tapers into a rigid, mechanical column. It looks less like a naturally evolved beast and more like a cursed, biomechanical totem carved from the tissue of a dying god. Thousand Eyes Restrict projects a chilling, static malice. It doesn't exhibit the typical bestial rage or predatory hunger found in dragons or fiends. Instead, it embodies absolute, paralyzing stagnation. Within the setting of the game world, it represents the absolute zenith of forbidden illusion magic, occupying a terrifying niche in ancient lore. It is the ultimate warden of the Shadow Realm, an entity that conquers not by destroying its opposition, but by absorbing their very identity and leaving them trapped in perpetual stasis. When Maximilian Pegasus manifested this entity during the climax of his historic Shadow games, he wasn't just summoning a fighter, he was warping reality around a singular point of hypnotic domination, freezing everything else in the room. The lineage of this aberration reveals a terrifying evolutionary synthesis. It exists as the direct, unholy merger of the completely inert Thousand Eyes idol and the malevolent, vacuum-like entity known as Relinquished. It is a brilliant symbiosis. The idol provides the infinite sensory receptors to perceive all of creation, while Relinquished grants the parasitic hunger to consume it. This design draws heavy inspiration from real-world mythologies and medical horrors. The concept echoes Argus Panops, the all-seeing giant of Greek myth whose eyes were eventually transferred to the feathers of a peacock, but here, it is twisted into something deeply unsettling. Biologically, the design masterfully evokes the terror of an advanced teratoma, a tumor capable of erratically growing complex tissues like teeth, hair, and fully formed eyes in places they simply do not belong. It is an absolute sight for sore eyes, quite literally. It seems highly probable that Thousand Eyes Restrict is actually the literal physical manifestation of the Millennium Eye's ancient, corrupting omniscience taken to its logical extreme. Pegasus didn't merely design this card from pure imagination, his artifact birthed it directly from his subconscious anxieties. It represents the terror of being constantly watched by ancient, inescapable forces, reflecting the heavy psychological toll of wielding forbidden Egyptian magic. It stands as a timeless monument to a golden era of creature design, proving that true terror doesn't require a massive sword or a blast of infernal dragon fire. Sometimes, all it takes to conquer a world is an inescapable, agonizing gaze.